Welcome back. Now, Kamohelo Maphopha, a young activist, has embarked on an ambitious campaign called Crazy in Faith, or rather Crazy Faith in Action. And this initiative is aimed to raise about 400,000 rand, just 10 days, to fund university students who are struggling to secure financial assistance. Now, the support would also cover travel to university accommodation, books, and other costs incurred by student or other university students. To tell us a bit more, I am joined by Maphopha himself to tell us a bit more about this initiative. Kamohelo, good to have you on the program this evening. Firstly, tell us about hashtag Crazy Faith in Action.
Yes,
what inspired this initiative?
This initiative was inspired by just my personal experiences facing financial exclusion, as well as my peers, right? Just seeing how we've been impacted by that, and how even regardless of how much we work hard and we try to apply for these bursaries and still not receiving the opportunities to fulfill our dreams, you know. And after seeing that, I just decided that, you know, let me just go out in faith and try to make it happen for us.
Speaking about making things happen,
yes, sir.
How did your personal experience, as a student especially, how did this influence your decision to embark on the journey?
So my personal experience facing financial exclusion, I was blessed enough to receive funding to do my degree, right? And because of that, I've experienced a shift and a change in being able to be in that environment and to receive and to be a beneficiary of university. Because, you know, sometimes university is treated like a playground and not the launch pad that it is. But I was fortunate enough to experience that. And because I know that and I want to further my studies, and seeing that some of my peers don't really get that opportunity, that is the reason why it pushes me so much, because I want that for each and everyone, especially my peers.
You've set a very ambitious goal here.
Yes, sir.
The goal of raising 400,000 rand in just 10 days.
Yes,
I mean, it's quite ambitious.
Yeah.
What inspired this target, and how do you plan to achieve it?
So the target was inspired by, I didn't have a choice, really.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened was that I only had 10 days from that day. It was on the 28th of January. I only had 10 days until I had to pay for enrollment, and most of my peers having going back to school on the 7th of February, right? It was like we didn't have a choice. We only had that 10-day period to make this money, right? And so that's really what inspired the 10 days. And 400,000 rand was inspired by the fact that the students, and including myself, like the people that needed this funding, which were in the beginning 5 of us, but now there's up to 15 of us, because in the journey of this campaign, there's been a lot of messages from around the country, having, you know, students with the same problems, like come up to me and come up to us and say, yo, please help us. So yeah, so now it's like double that. We need to raise double that, you know.
Sure.
So, but it's been going really well.
Speaking about it going very well, can you explain how the funds will then be used? Speaking about issues around supporting needy varsity students, are there specific criteria for selecting some of these beneficiaries?
The biggest criteria is that you have to be financially in need, you know, and not just that, but then you have to be a deserving student, in that sense that you have to prove, you know, the marks that you're receiving, because that's like one of the things that is important from funders and investors. You don't want to invest in something that you won't necessarily, you know, you're not sure. So it's like the biggest thing is being able to like be in need indeed, and then also just having the work ethic and the ability to really use this to your maximum potential. So I'd say those are the two.
Yeah. But oftentimes journeys like this have stumbling blocks, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Let's speak about this. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you've faced so far with this particular campaign?
Whoa, I think every day is a challenge, if I'm being honest, because it took a lot, especially when I started, you know, it started gaining traction, and I started realizing that this is a real thing, you know, and real lives are at stake, you know, so I have to keep going, you know. So I think the biggest challenge was to just continue to keep going, even when the pressure feels a lot. Like right now, I'm just sitting here with you and we're having this conversation, and it's like, wow, I'm just a young person. I'm advocating for people that are in my position. So it requires a lot of confidence and just willpower to be able to stand and to sit up straight and to be able to just stand with them and for them. So I think, yeah, those have been the challenges, you know, but yeah, by God's grace, I'm still up.
We're almost out of time, but before I let you go,
yes, sir.
Tell us a bit more about how people can support this initiative, but maybe also speak to what you want to see in future. What are some of the longer-term goals that you have with this initiative?
Okay, so firstly, to answer your first question, the way that the people can help is by donating. There's a specific account. Can I call
Go ahead.
the number? So the specific account, it's an FNB account. It's 630-600-41456. So that's the account that they can donate to. There's a website where I sell merch, right? That is the proceedings are going to go fully into this campaign. It's dngostudios.store. And then there's also a PayPal, right? It's all linked in my Instagram, which is undefeated.boy. And the future of this campaign, all right, and sponsored by God Community, is that what we planning on doing is going far beyond just funding students, but we are looking into funding businesses, we are looking into helping the marginalized, and it just goes way past this, you know, but it's just for the community, by the community.
Kamohelo, let me thank you for your time in this fantastic initiative as well.
Thank you so much.
Telling us about his inspiring journey with the hashtag Crazy Faith in Action campaign.